the gate. This is nice. Can we come in, Robert? Oh, there he is. I'm like, is this over?
At 73, Robert Tham has lived in Cicero, Illinois for half his life plus 10 years.
How's it going? I'm gonna give you a hug, Robert. Oh, thank you.
In the evenings, Cicero is a wonderful town to live in as a senior. They do so many things for us in this town. It's tremendous. We go on trips. Went to the casino yesterday, Four Winds Casino in Michigan. The senior center has always activities that are going on, and everything is free. They cut our grass, they shovel our snow, they're just tremendous. They got bus service, free bus service. They pick us up, take us to the doctor, wherever we have to go.
If Cicero were a person, it would be family.
I really enjoyed this town a lot. They're very, very, very good to us, you know. And they care for us. They make sure that we're taken care of. They for all kinds of services. You can't beat Cicero.
Beautiful. Oh my God, it's so beautiful in here, Robert.
But now, he wonders if his family has been withholding a secret.
Okay. Oh yeah, you have a fancy faucet here.
Yeah. I've heard that the lead is somewhat bad in Cicero. Also, I know I have lead pipes leading into the building, and I have copper going up to the apartments, but the old lead pipes come into the house. So I was kind of concerned. I'd like to know what my condition is.
That's why researchers from Virginia Tech are here.
Okay. So what I'll do is let me look into it further, and I'll see what you have to do. If you don't mind, may I take a picture of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Virginia Tech graduate student Siobhan Battle has been in Chicago for weeks at this point, working with residents of suburbs like Cicero to collect water samples.
Okay. So let me do a little research, and I will take care of you. Okay.
Siobhan and the other researchers were called in by a community activist group known as ICHEL to investigate their questions surrounding the area's water.
Cicero is a town filled with or comprised of mostly older homes. So a lot of the homes in Cicero, or the majority of the homes in Cicero, actually have lead service lines. It's a minority-based community. According to the Cicero demographics information, it's 90% Latino. As far as infrastructure issues, we don't know how much they pay attention to things like the lead in the water. We were called in by ICHEL to explore the potential of excessive lead in the water, and we found it.
They started with preliminary sampling back in summer of 2017. 10 homes in Cicero collected water through the 3-bottle sampling method that was also used to uncover lead in the water of Flint, Michigan. The researchers, led by Virginia Tech University Distinguished Professor Mark Edwards, say that all lead in water is a concern. But areas where over 90% of tested homes have less than 15 parts per billion of lead are considered acceptable under federal law. In their initial draw, 6 of the 10 homes sampled in Cicero showed concerning lead levels. 4 of these 6 had lead higher than 15 parts per billion. Meanwhile, the town sampling method indicated 0 of 30 homes had lead over 15 parts per billion. The discrepancy prompted further investigation. After seeing the results, the researchers packed up a van with over 100 more test kits to conduct the most comprehensive water sampling effort ever done in the Chicago suburbs.
In a lot of these surrounding towns, you have issues where the town is transparent about what's going on with the water or the infrastructure, but they may not have the resources to repair those issues, or they may ignore or disregard those issues depending on the population that they're serving. So there's some part of it that is a public responsibility. So our job is to make sure the narrative is correct, that the communication reaches everyone in the community, or as many people in the community, so that they can protect themselves if the town does not have the resources to provide filters for everyone. You know, what are the small things that you can do to protect your family and the children in your family? Hello. Hi. We're here from Virginia Tech. So you guys don't use the water to cook or drink or?
I use it to cook with limitedly,
Okay.
but I drink regular bottled water.
As the owner of this hair salon in nearby Oak Park, Bianca Baker is known as the voice of the people. She's using that voice to get the researchers into more homes in the area.
One thing about water and hair is very important because hard water really strips hair. I've been doing hair in the industry for a long time, and I love my clients. I'm passionate about doing hair. And I love ministering the gospel as well, because I love reaching people.
How can we get it in our areas?
How can we get testing kits in our area? That's a good question.
How about you?
Go to your elected officials in your town.
Because you got a spot that we could really do some testing on.
Your life is valuable. Your breathing is valuable. All of those things right there is attributed to water. Water. Everything on this earth has to live and thrive from water. So I've just always been concerned about water. I have.
Aside from sampling their water, the researchers are here in Chicago to provide information. Despite the ubiquity of water in daily life, many don't know what they're actually drinking.
I don't think it's the people that's not paying attention. I think the people are just uninformed. But we tend to drink a lot of bottled water. And what I did not know, and what you guys told us yesterday, is that once you heat it up, we were always told that if you heat it up, it was going to be good for us. Absolutely. And so it wasn't until yesterday that you told us that information that we were just underinformed.
If you have concerns surrounding your water,
and we have extra kids.
So it
works out perfectly for both of us.
Right, it works out. So we can actually test without going to or having to go through that process. We'll send your results in with.
So how would I get
When are you guys leaving?
We're leaving tomorrow at 8. Are you able to bring your kit back before tomorrow at 8?
Bring it back.
She can bring it to me.
Yes.
She can bring it. They can bring it right back to me.
Sure, I sure can.
And in fact, I'm going back over to the church.
So I'll meet you at the church.
Bring me kits now. Yes. I don't have kits. Give me kits.
Will do. All right. Okay, that's good. Well, I've been in Chicago for a while, but once we provide the data to whatever organization or the town or whoever we are doing the testing for, it's kind of up to them after that what they do with it as far as any type of social reform, or if they want to solicit medical testing or whatever the case is. We just provide the truth. We provide the data, validated, comprehensive testing that they can use those results going forward.
And that's just what the community activist group ICCHEL is doing. The group held a press conference late summer 2018 to spread awareness and ask the town of Cicero for help with the backing of the Virginia Tech researchers and their data.
I was born and raised a Cicero resident. I've been living here my whole life. I am currently a horticulturalist by trade, so we understand the importance of healthy, clean water for plants and people. And we were going to be bringing up some members of the community to address their concerns with respect to this issue. First one will be Diane Johnson. She is the pastor of Gethsemane Lutheran Church here in Cicero.
Thank you, Natalia. And I've been living here probably longer than she's been born, but 37 and a half years, and I am a coffee drinker and a water drinker. And I am one of those nerds that read annual water quality reports, and everything looked good, so I've been enjoying what I considered wonderful lake water from Lake Michigan coming out of the faucet in my home. Dalia Barajas and I and other members of ICCHEL got concerned about levels of lead in the blood of our children. We started doing some exploring and discovered that there indeed might be a problem with lead in our water system or in our homes in Cicero. We contacted a couple groups, ended up with Virginia Tech, who gave us the ability to test the water in our homes, and we discovered that despite being reassured that there wasn't a problem with lead, my home has elevated levels of lead. I went to my doctor. I have elevated levels of lead in my blood, which now means it's in my internal organs, and it will be a problem that will stay with me for the rest of my life.
This is how we began our journey into looking at making sure that we have safe water for our children and our families and those who have weak immune systems. My name is Zena Barajas. I am the founding director of Excel, and we are here to discuss our quality of water in Cicero and Berwyn. So it's important that the 85,000 residents that live in Cicero and about 80,000 residents of Berwyn are aware that there is lead in their drinking water, even though their consumer reports say it's different.
These reports differ from what Virginia Tech researchers found because the town used a water sampling method that collected inaccurate data, a problem discovered by Excel members Delia and local Reverend Diane Johnson.
Water used from the tap the sample is taken from,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
adjacent or close to the tap.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say anything about toilet flushing or like
No,
taking a
not at
shower.
all. Not at all.
That explains so much.
I mean, that to me is just misleading.
It is. And
Yeah, I mean,
it's-
look at the first direction up here. Yeah. Wow.
So,
My journey began a long time ago with my grandparents who were immigrants to the United States. And I saw them every day working from sunrise to sundown. And, you know, for the issues, reading the important issues, what happened in a community, they didn't have time to do that. And I live in a community that it's basically the same. Our families barely can put food on their table. They have children, they have to make sure their children are at school. What happens in our community, they're not really aware of. As you can see, you know, it takes a lot. This is very minimum of what they say about our drinking water. And if you're not a scientist, you don't understand this. The people that live here, the families that live here, the children that live here, is why it is so important. It's about the community.
We're now going to bring up graduate student Siobhan Battle and Dr. Sid Roy from Virginia Tech, who will talk about the findings from the sampling that they did at the request of Excel.
Lead can get into drinking water from lead service pipes, typically. Chicago, as well as the suburbs around it, including Cicero and Berwyn, have hundreds of thousands of lead pipes that are still in the ground. To give you context, you know, there is no safe level of lead. The safe level is 0 parts per billion. The EPA says 15 parts per billion is where they'll take action. The biggest reason we partner with residents and community organizations and activists is its data is empowering. People have a right to know what's in their water. The fact that they do not have answers as to the tap water and what could be wrong with it, and we having the expertise to help them, you know, get to that answer is such a privilege. Our goal obviously is empowering citizens, empowering communities with science, with data, helping them understand what's in their water and, you know, what they can do if there are issues. It's a big picture of, like, you know, citizen scientists coming together to answer important public health questions, and, you know, VT in their own way assisting them to get to that answer.
In the weeks to come, they'd find the answers Excel was looking for. Test results showed 31%, or roughly 1 in 3 homes tested, had concerning lead levels. The EPA issued violation notices to Cicero for monitoring and reporting violations. The agencies are now in talks with Excel, Virginia Tech, and others.
Something like this for the church or no?
The work for the activist groups is just beginning. Their end goal is to remain vigilant in holding public officials accountable, ensuring clean water on behalf of residents. Residents like Robert Tham, whose lead levels were found to range from 4 to 11 parts per billion of lead, just under the accepted levels by law, but still concerning according to the researchers. For now, the work of these Virginia Tech scientists and engineers is done for the day, but their work for and with the public never stops.
Thank goodness he didn't have to. Are you okay?
Cicero is one suburb in one city in a country full of other Ciceros by different names.